Hey guys! So I want to talk about something today, and that's touring. I think there are so many misconceptions about touring. When you tell people you're going on tour, most people see it as a, positive thing, as if it's an indicator of your success as a musician, you're growing, you're climbing up. It's not as glamorous as people think. So I'm here to unpack some truths about touring for you. If you're going on a tour, or if you're thinking of going on a tour, if that's your dream to go on a tour. So I documented a European tour I went on earlier this year. I've been on tour in different capacities, selling merch, for example, in the US and in Europe. But this was my first major tour as a performer, and it was a 3-week long tour. So I'm gonna show some footage and talk through about certain truths I had to learn for myself when it comes to touring as a performer. So I hope it helps you. Okay, let's give it a second. Oh my god. Go, leave. Okay, so touring really is about adapting and being mentally and physically strong and financially ready to take on a lot of discomforts that are gonna come your way. So here are 5 truths about touring. Number 1, touring can be very physically and mentally exhausting. It is what it is. You're going on a tour. In this case, I was in Europe, right? So we were on a 18-person bus, right? Generally, on tour, you're gonna experience like a lack of, a routine in your sleep schedule. Different environments could also just affect that. If depending on if you're on a van or a bus, that could affect that. In my case, I was on a bus, so everybody got bunks. So, you're gonna lack a private space. Maybe you lack sleep because it's just a new and different environment. You lack healthy food because it's not like if you have like a routine where you're eating fresh salads every day or juicing, like I do, you're not gonna really get that on the road. You're gonna just kind of take what's around. So in my case, I lose weight because there's not much healthy snacks or meals to eat on the road. Sometimes also if you're a gym goer, you do exercise, that's going to be thrown off on tours. Every day has a strict schedule, so it's really hard to find time to go to a local gym or go out for a run in a different environment that you don't even know. Personal hygiene is also something that is a concern. Especially if you have, high standards for your hygiene. So as a woman who takes care of my body, my skin, my internal health, it was really expensive. I spent a lot of money, on hotels just to guarantee showers and personal care and to just have a place to re-energize when there was a chance. If I didn't make a dime off the tour, I actually spent a lot just to be able to take care of myself. Mentally and physically. And for introverts, I think it can be uniquely hard. I would consider myself an introvert as well, and sometimes after a show, I just want to hide and be by myself to re-energize. But with 18 lovely people traveling on the bus with them, it's hard to find that space and the time. You have to be constantly socially on, or it can send the wrong message. So hopefully you're touring with good people who engage in healthy behaviors, who are understanding of different personalities and respectful of each other. Also, if you experience anxiety, whether performance related or just generally, know that touring and having to perform every night will heighten this. So if you're going on a tour or considering going on a tour, definitely evaluate whether this is a battle you want to take on from a physical and mental perspective, and really find ways to manage it for yourself. So this could be a positive experience for you. Not every show is going to go well, unfortunately. Whether it's technical issues or whether you feel you didn't perform well or the show didn't have a turnout that you hoped for, the reality is not every show is gonna go well. In my experience, and I'm sure many others, in-ear monitors never sound the same as they did at sound check versus when you're on stage performing, and that can be so frustrating. There was a time where it was a performance and I didn't realize how sensitive I was to strobe lights, and the strobes came at me and I just completely just lost what I was doing. I definitely played a few wrong notes. It was embarrassing, but you know, it was the experience. So next time I told the lighting person to just keep the strobes a little bit easy. The show must go on, so you really have to find it in you to just show up and do your best, and that can be really, really hard. But that's the reality of touring. You know, you're expected to play every single night, and maybe you have some off days here and there, but for the most part, you know, that's what it is. You know, the fans expect you to show up and perform, and your bandmates also expect you to give it your best. All in all, you know, nothing's going to go perfect. There are going to be technical issues. There are going to be, you know, personal issues. But it depends on just how you respond to it. So you should definitely assess what went wrong and try and change it for the better at the next show. This one varies depending on where you go. But if you think you're going to go on tour and see all the wonders of the world and explore, definitely manage your expectations. For the most part, you're not going to have enough time to explore and see all these beautiful things in different locations, especially if, you know, you're playing venues that are far away from city centers or town squares. Thankfully, in Europe, there are so many, you know, community areas that people gather and cool things to see within the city. But there's definitely not enough time to go, you know, if you're playing London or something and you're playing in like East London, there's not enough time to go all the way to like the West End or something and see Big Ben. Like it's just not wise. So definitely manage your expectations on what you're going to see and what you're going to experience in your travels during tour. Just know that for the most part, you are touring venues and you're not going to get a chance to really immerse yourself in the different locations and the different cultures you encounter during tour. You definitely have to stick with the schedules. You don't want to be the band or artist that is not there at your sound check time, because that can be very frustrating for everyone involved. If you want to travel, definitely save some money and pick a spot and go on a vacation so you can truly enjoy that experience. You know, dungeon is so confusing, but it's making for a great YouTube video, so. So it's fine, act normal. So, touring as a woman will present a completely different set of challenges than men. You know, this is a very male dominated space. So, in many situations, you may be the only woman or one of very few. So, it's really important to assess your personal needs and plan ahead for those challenges that are going to come. It's really important to be able to adapt. It's really important to be able to, you know, be helpful and kind of be one of the boys in a way, like carrying your equipment and just making sure that, you know, you're pulling your own weight on the tour. Being on a tour where everyone's respectful to each other and the men respect women and respect you as a musician is so helpful. The tour I was on was awesome because all the men were super respectful, super helpful, and you know, they really cared about everyone's well-being on the package. And there were 3 women on the tour, or 4 women on the tour, and you know, everyone felt safe, felt comfortable around you know, the men on the tour. But that's not always the situation. So if you're a woman, assess whether it's a safe environment for you and you're going to be supported in the way that you should be. Your survival skills need to be on point, and this is for everybody, not just women. You know, you have to be resourceful on the road, you know, to be able to take care of yourself. Not everyone's gonna help you in your problems. Not everyone's gonna resolve things for you or even care about your needs. So you have to know what you need, and you have to be resourceful in order to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You know, after the show, after meeting fans, I would go to the green room. I would make sure to take my makeup off. I would make sure to get ready to go to sleep. Even though people are still out partying and stuff, it was just important for me to make sure I maintained a skincare routine and, you know, a physical routine, so I don't come off the tour with a bunch of blemishes on my face and just like bad skin. Like, that's just a no-no for me. So just depending on your needs, right? You have to be able to adapt to the environment and, you know, do things that you wouldn't normally do. But if it means survival and improving your comfort, then you definitely have to be able to do it. So I also want to talk about post-tour effects. Some people experience different things off tour once they get back home. Some people may actually experience what's called post-tour depression. So it basically is, you know, when you're on tour, people want your pictures, people are clapping for you, and then you come back to your town or your house and you're just normal and, you know, you're living a mundane life again. It can be hard for some people to go from such highs to then just kind of like a very low, chill environment, and you're kind of itching to go on the next tour. But for certain others, there are different challenges that come post-tour. For me, for example, after tour, I had post-tour dreams. So after living on the bus with 18 people, you know, and seeing them every day, in my dreams, I felt like I was just on tour. It was just kind of like on a purgatory tour situation where everyone kept coming up in my dreams, and I didn't shake out of it until maybe 2 weeks after and adjusting back into my normal day-to-day life off of tour. So just know that everyone experiences some post-tour effects, whether good or bad, and you just have to go through it and it'll surely pass. So I unpacked a few things about touring, and I know they were mostly on the negative side, but I think there are some positives. I think that touring definitely builds character, and it is not for the weak. Only the strongest survive. Although I think it's really important for people to understand that physically and mentally this is really really tough. So some people love the touring lifestyle, others don't, and that's absolutely okay. Experience will guide you to know, what you want out of your career, and it'll help you make better choices for, your next move as an artist or a band. If this is something you want to take on, there are definitely positives, but just know that it's really, really hard. And with that, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, follow, and I will see you on the next one.